What's going on, everyone? We are back again with some more gameplay because we got to dive into probably one of the better decks in set 6. We are still very early on in the meta and we haven't really seen a full tournament day as of recording this video, although very shortly we will. And we've got some new toys to play with one of the best decks in the previous sets, Boba Fett. So before we dive in and talk about some new cards for this list, a big thank you to my patrons over on Patreon, guys. A lot of them have been coming up some amazing ideas, and you guys have even seen videos for it. So if you want to contribute to that, you can check out the links down below. But let's dive into Boba Fett. What do we got? What are the new cards, etc.? So with new Boba Fett, the biggest thing that I was really interested in are the two new plot cards. We've got Topple the Summit and Cinta. Cinta allows us to deploy Boba as a pilot and then immediately get an attack in with that unit. Really excellent to take advantage of his when deployed and not miss out on the damage from that unit and from Boba Fett himself. This is a huge addition, super resource efficient, super action efficient, and overall just solid. Topple the Summit is really good with Boba Fett as well, because when we deploy, we can deal 1 damage to 4 units, followed up by playing Topple the Summit to deal 3 extra damage to all of those units and finish all of them off. Or we do 2-1-1, 2-2 to deal 3 more damage. There's so many different opportunities with indirect damage with Boba Fett and Topple the Summit. There's a bunch of other kind of small additions. A couple, another plot card in Sudden Ferocity is another way to get some value out of our resource pile. We have Punishing One in the 5 resource slot. It does non-combat damage when it comes in, which means we can get that trigger from Boba Fett. Similar to the Dornian gunship, but arguably going to have significantly more power because of all the indirect damage. We also have Syril Karn on turn 1, which gives us another source of indirect damage, or our opponents are discarding a card. Either way, going to be solid for us. And then, of course, the rest of the deck: Ramp, indirect damage, good units that we're playing in the past, Overwhelming Barrage, Mauls, Devastators, Palpatines to close out the game, even the Planetary Bombardment. There is a very solid core to this deck, and we're just going to kind of upgrade it with a few new additions. And let's see how many games we can win, because I know it's going to be a good deck. All right, to start us off, we've got a hand with 3 plot cards and a Super Laser Technician and double open fire. I think this is going to be a quick mulligan for us. This is a far better looking hand. I'm going to resource the Cinta, and I think I like Ruthless Leader a lot. I like the IG. I'll resource the Dornian Gunship. Not a fantastic hand, but still solid. I mean, we have a lot of 3-drops in the deck, so we'll see. Kind of unfortunately, start with Karis Nemik. They're just going to kill off our Syril Karn, and then we're going to have nothing to play unless we draw a 3-drop, which we don't, of course, as per typical. Punishing One looks pretty good, but I think I'm going to resource it. Again, we just can't really afford it. They're going to reveal Kiadi. Yep, no force, so they can't really play Ki-Adi-Mundi for all that great effectiveness. So we'll see what they decide to do. We're going to claim, going to be able to, kind of get the Legion General Pride down, and then we will see what we do afterwards. Let's go ahead and resource the First Order, and then let's go ahead and kill the Spy Token. I know that they could deal the 2 indirect damage to the Spy Token, but I want to get rid of it because we're kind of under a decent amount of pressure. Oh, they're going to take 2 damage to the base. I'm surprised they didn't just let the Spy Token take it. I wanted to guarantee that the Spy Token would be dead, but I mean, this is fine. My opponent just basically taking 2 damage for free into their base works for me. Totally works for me. They got Ki-Adi-Mundi. They're going to draw a couple of extra cards. I mean, this is kind of a classic, very classic kind of situation we find ourselves in. Resource the Darth Vader. We will go ahead and kill off the Itinerant Warrior. I'm going to be able to go ahead and get the Ruthless Raider down on this turn. So let's go ahead and do such that. Get some extra indirect damage in. Next turn, we can potentially deploy Cinta with the Boba Fett. I don't plan on deploying Boba Fett this turn, but we can, I suppose. My opponent probably has removal for it, which is why I'm not terribly excited to do so. So I'm just going to claim initiative and we'll see what my opponent does afterwards. Ogdo, Bogdo, Grogu. Okay, I think this is a pretty easy kind of situation we find ourselves in because I'm just going to deploy Boba as a pilot. I'm going to play Cinta, and then I'm just going to kill both these units. Get in for 8. They could have a Rival's Fall to Rival's Fall away the Ruthless Raider. but they're kind of required to do that. Like if they don't have that, it's pretty rough for them. So I'm happy if they don't, but if they do, it's fine. If they Ravos Fall, they're obviously out of any cards this turn. And if they have like a Luke Skywalker, they can knock out Cinta, which would be good for sure. But they can't even use Grogu's ability unless they were to get in damage. Unless they were to attack Cinta with the Han, which is what they're going to be doing. I'm going to go to deploy the First Order Stormtrooper because they're going to heal up their Han, kill off Cinta here. And that means that at least the First Order Stormtrooper can get in some damage next turn, potentially. Okay. What did they just do? I mean, they're going to heal. I'm not really sure what their game plan is. I mean, maybe they don't have a Rivals Fall or Luke. I mean, Luke would be not like game ending, but it would be good. Rivals Fall would be very good for them. Grogu is one of the best cards up against us. Just being able to heal up and kind of absorb all the indirect damage is super, super good. Entrenched, huh? All right. All right. You know what? I think here... Oh, man. I kind of want to get down Maul, huh? Let's go for Maul. Kill Han so that they can't deploy anything too big. Ruthless Raider, it's going to be available for us if we Planetary Bombardment. So Planetary Bombardment could end the game here. Would be very, very solid. I'm going to heal up, what, Maul to kill the First Order Stormtrooper? Okay, that's fine. I'm kind of holding on to the Planetary Bombardment because they're not going to be killing this Boba Fett with the Ruthless Raider on it. And then we would be able to potentially knock out multiple units here. And that seems to be what we're going to be able to do because it's 13 damage here and they have 12 on the board. So we're going to be able to go Overwhelming Barrage and go 7. Man, Grogu's so good up against us. It's crazy. Again, I'm just kind of setting up for a Planetary Bombardment. That's all I'm trying to do. I know I could have played it earlier, but they could have soaked up a lot of damage at that point, so didn't really care to do that. Let's go 1 into Chirrut. And we'll see what they have as a follow-up. They've got Yoda. We're going to claim. There's another Maul. I think here... So if I attack, Yoda can attack, follow up. Let's just attack for 3. Immediately get in the damage. They're going to attack in. That's great. We're going to go Planetary Bombardment. They have to deal 12 damage to themselves. Or to their units, however they choose. Them being able to put it on the Yoda and the Chirrut's going to definitely help them out. But it's not necessarily like going to save them. I mean, Yoda's good. The fact that they got a Restore to her is really, really good. They're going to be able to divvy up the damage as they just showed. They've got Captain Rex here. We've got HK that we're going to drop in. Maul wins the game. I don't think defeating Boba Fett is actually all that good because now we actually have access to... Oh, well, that wins the game as well. I was going to say, now we have access to actually Boba Fett's action here. But I mean, we could do a couple things. Chirrut, we just win with Maul. Devastator just wins as well. We have a million different ways to win, but that was pretty straightforward. And doesn't really feel like we were losing at all at any point. Alrighty, into the next game, and we got ourselves a pretty decent hand, actually. I could keep the Top of the Summon around just in case, but I honestly just think Cinta and Top of the Summon as the resources here, giving us options, and then we'll just go Serial Karn here. I'm hoping that I'll be able to draw an aggression card. I'm kind of expecting that I will be able to, but I guess we'll find out, huh? There is an aggression card. That is indeed one. I'm going to keep both of the Ruthless Raiders around, actually. And then I'll attack in. We'll reveal the Ruthless Raider and Ruthless Raider. Deal some damage to the Karis or make them discard. It's probably going to be a discard. Karis is pretty good against Serial Karn, at least with the Darth Maul trigger, because they're going to be able to attack, hit Cyril, and then use the Darth Maul action to kill off Cyril Karn, which would be very good. Assuming they decide to attack him, but I would assume that they would. Okay, they're going to discard a card. Yep, there's the axe. It goes away. Fallen Lightsaber, huh? All right, well, let's go with the resupply. My opponent's going to be a very, very aggressive start here. Very, very aggressive. We're going to be able to get to Boba Fett pretty quickly, which is nice, but... Okay, they're going to attack base. Interesting. Okay. I like having Cyril Karn around for a little bit longer, so that's good to see. Let's go ahead and attack in with Cyril as well. Although they're going to outpace us in terms of damage here, right, with the Karis attacks, you know, we have a lot of threatening things. So I'm kind of okay with that. I'm going to discard Talzin's Assassins. They have another 4-drop. You got Darth Tyrannus, huh? Tyrannus is pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's see what my opponent decides to do. We'll deal indirect damage to them. Okay, they're going to go ahead and do their thing. Let's go ahead and claim initiative. Cyril Karn droid missile platform. Okay, okay. They're going to be pretty aggressive here, I imagine. So what do I want to do? I kind of want to get rid of these units. I can go 3 damage. It just doesn't quite work out for us. I think I can deploy out the Ruthless Raider. I can maul away their maul. They definitely had a very aggressive start, which I wasn't necessarily expecting. They're going to be able to hit us for a lot of damage here. Deal some indirect damage to our opponent. They're kind of just soaking it up all into their base, which makes sense when you're up against Boba Fett, but it can be a little bit, you know, game losing depending on their situation. So I guess we'll see. Now I can deploy Boba Fett to the ground arena, but I'm kind of hoping on this top of the summit. I know I'm stalling a little bit. I know I could potentially end the game quicker. But I think I'm relying on this Boba Fett to really get me there. Let's go ahead and claim. So right now, yeah, this is going to work out really nicely for us. Really nicely. Because we're going to be able to deploy Boba Fett as a pilot onto the Ruthless Raider. We're going to be able to deal 4 damage. We're going to go 1, 1, 1, 1. And then play top of the summit and kill off all of their units. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What a top. That was an incredible. So that's kind of what I was thinking of doing this entire time, was like, yeah, I'm just going to be able to topple the summit them, and we'll probably win the game if we go that direction. I know I could have deployed Boba Fett, but I was really kind of going in that direction instead. Let's see what they've got. Okay, we're going to hit him for 6. Let's see what they have. Maybe they have a bunch of upgrades to deploy onto Maul and kind of win the game as a surprise hit, or they can't win with aggressive negotiations, which would be a surprise hit as well. But, you know, I mean, that top of the summit was absolutely fantastic. That was a crazy spot for it. Okay, they're going to deal 5 to us. Okay, let's see what can they have. Force Lightning, huh? Okay, let's claim. Force Lightning's good. Ooh, Palpatine, huh? Well, I think I'll just deploy Palpatine just to kill off their Darth Maul. And then I have 2 lethal threats and double Maul and Ruthless Raider. Game's going to be kind of tough for my opponent to do anything here at this point. Force Lightning doesn't work anymore. They can condemn, which is fine. I'll claim. Yeah, and they can ambush, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be GG. GG. Disabling Fang Fighter also going to be kind of clutch here, but yeah, GG. My opponent, very, very aggressive start, but that Top of the Summit just completely wiped their entire board. I did have to set up the Ruthless Raider beforehand, and then they played the perfect amount of toughness for us to cut through with the Top of the Summit and the 1 extra damage that I had from Boba Fett's ability. So that was absolutely amazing. Rolling into the next match, we've got ourselves a pretty interesting one. I'm going to keep this hand. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the Allegiant General Pry, but the TIE Bomber can do some work here if my opponent's going to be a little bit more controlling. It might be that the Pride is going to be very good. I like Devastator. Top of the Summit can be kind of hit or miss. I'm going to resource it, just give us more options. I'm going to resource the Allegiant General Pride as well, just because we also don't have the initiative. If we had the initiative, I would have considered keeping it and maybe resourcing like the Open Fire, because I'm almost certain going to go resupply on this next turn. And then we're just going to hopefully draw into our big stuff and hopefully win in that direction. We'll see. We will see. Yes, I am, my friend. Yes, I am. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. The Chancellor Palpatine Green is very, very interesting. No Data Vault over there, which is usually what I am typically used to. But, okay, TIE Bomber. They have a Onyx Squadron Brute, which is definitely one of the worst things that we could have, seen from them. I'll resource the HK. I think I'm changing my mind. Initially I was like, I don't think I'm going to open fire, and I think I will open fire at this point. I'm going to go open fire. Oh, whoops. I should have let them trigger their abilities first. Wow. An ISB shuttle. Okay. Very, very space focused. Very good against our deck. Kind of surprising to see. We'll pass. Got Dornian Gunship Cinta. Yeah, very, very space focused here. Onyx Squadron Brute and ISB shuttle. We're going to go resupply. We're going to have Dornian Gunship come down next turn. I don't think we're in a good spot at all. TIE Bomber is not at all what I'd want to see. Looks like they're more of officials style deck, which is very interesting. Very, very interesting. We're going to go Ruthless Raider. And then we're going to kill off the ISB shuttle. Get some indirect damage in. Like I said, I don't think we're in a great spot just because of, I think, how they started. But I say that lightly because, I think our deck is just a lot better than Palpatine Green. So we will see. Okay, they've got Retaliation. Nice. That does work. Okay, let's go with Kylo's Silencer. Dornian Gunship. Indirect damage to some opponents. We're going to get 2+1 from Boba Fett in. Remember, we still have Top of the Summit. And, oh, baby. There's the I Am the Senate. This will be interesting. You know what? I think what we'll do is deploy as a pilot. We'll go 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to play Top of the Summit and just kill off all their spy tokens. They did go with the Senate. They're playing a very thematic official deck, which I think is awesome. They're saying GG. I don't know why they would be saying GG, but, The Cantwell Arrestor Cruiser. I'm going to arrest the Silencer, I imagine. I think they're actually at a good spot still. I don't know why they would be saying GG. Let's go with the droid missile platform. Okay, they didn't deploy Palp. Very interesting. Okay, they're going to get in for some damage. Let's go with the droid missile platform. 4 into base. And now we're going to go Devastator. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Get our Silencer readied up again. They've got Palpatine. Let's see what they've got to deploy. Lots of space units for my opponent. Again, very, very surprised to see this level of space. Cad Bane killing off the droid missile platform. We're going to deal 3 indirect damage to our opponent because we can direct it. I think that they didn't. I think they may have forgot about that because we can now one-shot them with the Devastator, but I don't even know if it really matters. And we're going to close out the game. Really sweet deck from our opponent. They're definitely like an officials deck. You know, they're definitely going that direction. Masamita, I Am the Senate, Political Bully, all really, really cool stuff. Very, you know, could be kind of put me off in terms of Onyx Squadron Brute and ISB Shuttle. I wasn't necessarily expecting that. And the Retaliation ended up being really good against our Ruthless Raiders. One of the few cards that it's really good against, because we don't actually have to attack them. We just played it and we got the damage in. So that was actually really cool. But very, very interesting. Very, very fun to see the I Am the Senate. I mean, 6 spy tokens on the board. Since they had the initial one from the ISP shuttle, was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Into the next game, and a very expensive hand here to start off. We're going to mulligan that one, hopefully for a 2-drop. Looks like we do get one. I'm going to resource this Vader. I think I'll resource the Maul as well. My opponent, Ray Yellow, has a lot of options with Ray Yellow. Ray looks like in a very interesting style, but Outer Rim Headhunter. That's not one I see very often. Okay, let's go ahead and resource the General Pride, since we have a lot of 3-drops here. I guess that would mean I could go like 3-drop this turn, 2-drop, 3-drop next turn. But I don't think Pride's really going to do anything. Like a 2-3 doesn't really do much. Okay, there's an experience. Let's go ahead and get an attack in. We will... Oh, we don't have... That was... By the way... Totally should have kept the Pride, because I, for some reason, thought that we had a villainy card in our hand, and we obviously do not. So that was very dumb. Obviously, we should have kept the Pride in hand to trigger that. So yeah, a little bit of a mistake there. Let's go ahead and claim here. My opponent with the... Oh boy, with the Moisture Farmer. Let's get in for 4. We'll see what my opponent decides to do. I think we can kind of just ignore them at this current rate. Let's go ahead and go Cyril Karn. We'll reveal... actually, you know what? We have to reveal the IG, so we may as well just reveal. Hit the Moisture Farmer here. If they attack my Droid Missile platform, that's no big deal, because we will have the IG 2000. Okay, we're going to go ahead and deal some indirect damage to our opponent. Okay, they're going to take some damage to the base. See if they decide to... Ooh, Clan Ren Rescuer, huh? Let's go with IG. Deal some damage across the board. Opponent going to town with the Outer Rim Headhunter. They're going all in here. I love it. I love it. Another open fire, not exactly all that strong. Here, though, we've got the Overwhelming Barrage, which is going to be quite good. That said, I'm going to attack in, and I will reveal all these cards first. I'm going to get this in because I'm going to get the 2 damage trigger from Cyril Karn. Even though I know I can go Overwhelming Barrage and avoid some damage with the Outer Rim Headhunter, I don't really care about damage being dealt to my base. I don't think that's what's going to matter in this game. Covering the Wing, huh? Okay. Yeah, let's just go ahead and let's go Overwhelming Barrage on the Droid Missile platform. We're going to go 1, 1, 2, 2. Kind of knock out all the units. So now we have 2 different units that can go ahead and kill off that Outer Rim Headhunter. Pretty good position we are in. We don't even have to kill that thing, to be honest. We got rid of all their other units. I don't even think it really matters. Let's get in 6 to the base. We have Boba Fett deploy. Yeah, I'm just going to hit base. I don't think this matters at all. We'll see what they have for the 3 extra resources, though. They've got a Rogue Operative. Yeah, we're just going to hit base. We don't have the 12 damage hit with the Planetary Barrage. It's just 8. We'll pass here. We got Topple the... Ooh, yeah. Topple the Summit looks pretty fantastic. Let's go ahead and resource that because we plan on playing it this turn. right now, I can knock out Rey, Outer Rim Headhunter, and Rogue Operative in one top of the summit with a Boba Fett deploy, which is amazing, like absolutely amazing. So hopefully they just deploy Rey and we just get to go to town, because that would be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, they're going to attack in. We're going to go with a Cyril Karn attack in for 2. I'm just going to wait. Okay, they vanquished. We'll deal some indirect damage to our opponent. Okay, we'll deal some indirect damage to our opponent. Interesting. Let's go ahead and get in with a attack here. So we have 1, 2. I mean, we planetary bombardment, and they have to. Yeah, that's pretty brutal for them. It would take a lot of damage here. It would take a lot of damage. And then we just deploy Boba, because they'll take 5 to base, and then we kill them. Yeah, planetary bombardment. We'll go 1 to Outer Rim Headhunter, 2 to Rogue Operative, 5 to base. Deploy Rey, get in for restore 3. We deploy Boba, and we win the game. Shoot first. Sure. Kind of awkward shoot first, huh? And GG. ECL Han up next, and well, I like our hand. I like it. Cinta going to be the resource. I like the Dornian gunship as well as the Overwhelming Barrage. So even though I like Maul as well, I have a nice curve here built into my hand. So we're just going to go ahead and drop our Legion General Pride on turn 1. They have ECL. They probably ECL Wreck or ECL Poe. So we're going to avoid playing ground units and just kind of rely on our space units. They're not going to have as many ways to interact with big space units, and then that's going to make ECL pretty useless. So maybe they'll kill Pride, but if I were them, I would probably keep it alive. Wow, they played nothing on turn 1? Okay. Interesting. They can do that. For sure. So we got Super Laser Tech and Poe Dameron. Poe Dameron is a way they can go ahead and deal with some bigger space units for sure. Let's go ahead and get in with the Legion General Pride, and then let's go resupply. Pass. Super Laser Tech, going to be the resource here. We got the Dornian gunship, which looks great. So my opponent had no turn 1 play, but Poe Dameron is a good turn 2 play. That is going to give them some ways to potentially interact with our space units. We'll see what they've got to follow up. Let's go with attack in with Pride. No indirect damage being dealt because of them taking initiative immediately. So maybe that was the plan all along. Dornian gunship going to come in. Poe Dameron on turn 2 is good. That is a good... not turn 2, turn 3 rather. That is going to be pretty good. Deal some indirect damage to our opponent here. Okay, they dealt 1 in 1. We're going to pass. Punishing 1, that actually could be pretty relevant here. Just getting the 1 damage out on things is going to be pretty useful. Let's see what they decide to do with Poe Dameron here. I imagine they're going to immediately attack. So let's see what they decide to do with the Poe Dameron. I can deploy Boba onto the Dornian gunship. And play Cinta, but I don't want to, if you remember earlier. I'm going to attack into base. Okay. We're going to have Overwhelming Barrage. Let's see if they discard a card to deal 2 to our Dornian gunship. I'd imagine that's what they try to do in order to try to kill off the gunship. There's the Heroic Sack being discarded. 2 damage to our gunship. Wow, who would have guessed? Do they discard anything else? I don't think they... Oh, they are. They aren't going to make us discard. They discarded 2 cards then? Yeah. That's fine. We're going to go 4, 2, deal some indirect damage to our opponent. See what our opponent decides to do. They're going to take 1 damage to base. I kind of want to get rid of this pride, so that would be my goal. I don't even know if I would deploy out the First Order Stormtrooper, to be honest. There's a Sabine's Masterpiece. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit their base for 6. Let's go ahead and kill the Pride. Or the Poe with the Pride. I don't want them to be ECLing out anything. So we're going to go ahead and claim. Ooh, Planetary Bombardment's very, very interesting. So I can go with Sudden Ferocity and play TIE Bomber. Or I could just deploy Boba Fett as a pilot. I think I'll pass on Cinta. As I said earlier, Sudden Ferocity I don't think is necessary because I can go TIE Bomber and Punishing One here. 6 resources. I don't know what my opponent could have in Han Green. I mean, they could have like Disabling Fang Fighter, but they can't ECL out Poe or Wrecker, which is what I'd be scared of to defeat my Boba here. And then I don't see them being able to kill the Dornian gunship, so I don't really know what they could have. Yeah, like Caloran Beck is fine. It's totally a fine play, but it's not really going to allow them to actually win here, I think. So I could go Planetary Bombardment. They can take up to 6 damage. They have 5, 10. They have a lot of toughness on board. So we'll just, put some units down and go from there. We have lethal on board. Punishing One is also lethal, right? 3 damaged enemy units. This is a raid 3 unit. Planetary Bomberment's very close, but we have multiple lethal threats. I don't see how they can kill Dornian gunship. I also don't even know how they can kill Punishing One, and we may as well finish off the game with the Punishing One for fun. GG. Alrighty, into the next game, we got Double Red Daedra. Do I want to keep this? I think it's pretty weak, to be honest. I think I'm going to mulligan this. Not a great follow-up. Not a great follow-up. But at least we have a turn 1 play. I'll go ahead and go with the First Order Stormtrooper. If they want to try to use the Daedra action, I'm okay with letting them draw a card. Let's go ahead and claim. Got another First Order Stormtrooper. We're going to resource that since I do have the resupply here. Let's go ahead and just get in some damage to base. This is going to be a race for sure. Especially with them having 25 HP on base, I'm definitely racing them. Our hand looks pretty good for doing that. And my opponent's not really going to have all that many options. They can take 1 damage to Bo-Katan. They can take another damage to Bo-Katan if they want, but that just sets up the Punishing One to finish the deal, which is really, really solid for us, actually. They could draw a card. We're going to resupply. We're going to claim initiative. And we'll see what my opponent's got for 2 resources. They got Cyril Karn. Nice. Okay, let's go ahead and Disabling Fang Fighter as the resource. Let's go ahead and go First Order Stormtrooper attack first. We do have... Okay, they're going to deal some damage to Cyril Karn this time. Yeah, I mean, this is really risky, right, to do this. Since they're opening up so much value from Boba Fett. I mean, this First Order Stormtrooper's gotten 2 damage into both units. It's pretty excellent, actually. And they didn't have the ability to disclose, which means their hand does not have either double aggression or a villainy card, which is pretty awesome. Absolutely insane, by the way. Like, that should basically never happen. But, my opponent's got Tarkin Town to follow up, so that's not bad. But we're going to have Ruthless Raider and then Boba Fett deploy. And then as soon as we knock out Daedra, I don't really know how they recover in this game. They can draw a card. I don't really care about that. Force them to deal with our units. We've kind of burned through a lot of their resources. They have another Daring Raid. So they have double Daring Raid. That's probably as good as it gets in terms of utilizing your resources, but, you know, going to get some extra damage into the base here. They can go on and deploy Daedra. They will. They're going to get in for 4. Punishing One, huh? Punishing One looks pretty good. Okay, let's go Ruthless Raider, kill off Cyril Karn. A little bit worried. I would be a little bit worried about aggression here. Aggression could do some big work. I like my position, but you never know what your opponent could have here with double red. See what my opponent's got. Punishing One can set up. You know, I mean, I can go Boba Fett attack Daedra. Punishing One. Chairman Papanoida, huh? I'm going to deploy Boba Fett as a unit. Not as impressive, but I'm just going to get in some damage. I don't want to like get too blown out by like aggression or anything. You know, a free defeat 2 upgrades or something of that note would be pretty good for them. So I don't really see a reason as to why I would try to do that. Yeah, let's go ahead and get in for 4. If they want to play like this and try to kill off our units, I'm very happy to be able to, you know, just get in some damage. Top of the summit looks pretty good. I mean, I'm going to resource this Vader. I'm going to get in for 4 here. My opponent can do the Warrior of Clan Ordo attack into Boba Fett to get in the damage, but yeah, that's fine. Chairman Papanoida. We'll see what they've got here. They're going to deal 4. And what? Draw a card. Get a spy token. Kind of cool, kind of cool. Okay, they just goes aggression. Get a spy token. Great. Let's go Punishing One. Just kill Daedra. Devastator plus, you know, these 2 cards. I don't really know how we lose at this point. They're going to be able to get in 5 damage. We're going to be able to get in 4 here. Ruthless Raider, probably going to end the game. They can disclose another card with the Warrior to prevent some damage to their base. They probably have it. We're going to go ahead and claim. And then I guess we'll see where we go next. Cyril Karn, not bad, not bad. We have HK and Double Devastator. I don't know how we lose at this point. Let's go ahead and go Target Town, attack. Let's go ahead and hit 1 damage. We will deal indirect damage to our opponent. If they deal 1 more damage to another unit, this thing, yeah, gets to another raid. That's exactly what they did. I was like, if they did not know what this does, it's just instant loss. Not that they had many options. I mean, they were at 24. We'd had Ruthless Raider. We had Double Devastator in hand. I mean, this game was very clearly over. Very clearly over. Into the next game, we've got Anakin ECL, which will be interesting. I'm going to mulligan this hand. I don't think it's very good. This hand's also not very good, but it's okay. I mean, at least we have the Cyril Karn trigger, which is nice. Ooh, okay. They're going some space units, huh? Okay, let's go resource top of the summit. Let's attack and reveal some cards here. No reason to reveal the open fire because we may as well keep that unrevealed, since that's the card we're going to play this turn. Open fire the red 5. Very, very space focused here for our opponent. Another topple, can easy resource that. Probably going to get down the droid missile platform. There's an open fire for them. Droid missile platform, they can attack it, kill off the droid missile platform, which would be okay because we're going to deal 4 damage to our opponent, which would be pretty good. And then we're going to claim Dornian Gunship, deal 2 to our opponent. And I mean, we've got a pretty nice setup here, right? Dornian Gunship deals 2 damage to our opponent. Claim initiative. Cinta as the card here. We, I mean, they defeat if I deploy as a unit. I think we'll just attack with the Dornian gunship here. Just get in for 4. Anakin coming in. What do I want to do here? I think I'll deploy as a pilot. And we will deal 3 here, 1 here, and then topple. This sets up a nice Maul attack next turn, or, Ruthless Raider, just getting in some value here. Okay, I mean, I can Maul. I think we'll just get in for 8. Put the pressure on our opponents. We can Maul their spy token, and it's GG. I mean, this is just pretty brutal for them. Figure of Unity comes in. We're going to go Maul, trigger ambush, kill the spy token, and that's GG. I mean, that was pretty one-sided. They had started with a very space-focused hand, and we just ended up having the ground unit into open fire, which is very common with the Boba Fett. We actually have more turn 1 ground units than we have space units. So we kind of just rolled through them. I mean, it was not even close. Top of the summit, very clutch there. We kind of had a bunch of awkward things that we could have done that weren't that bad, but because of the just Anakin straight deploy and that Poe Dameron came down the previous turn, just top of the summit ended up being good. I was a little bit worried about them, maybe having something that I wasn't expecting, but it was very similar to Han Green in that I don't think there was a whole lot that could have interacted with us. I could have just gone with top of the summit immediately, just kill off Poe Dameron to get in an extra 4 damage. Would have been reasonable, just honestly 1 Boba Fett plus topple to kill Poe. Totally reasonable. So very, very interesting situation here, but GG to my opponent. Alrighty, so what did we learn with Boba Fett? Well, guys, I mean, top of the summit is incredible in this list. There were some games where Cinta came in handy, where we got to immediate attack. Even punishing one, dealing that just 1 damage, ended up being pretty good. And Cyril Karn, all 3 of the new additions. So we didn't get to see Sudden Ferocity, but the other 3 new additions, all of which had an amazing spot in the game. Cyril Karn randomly getting some discards, some cards out of our opponent's hand, ended up just making the game just a little bit easier, or just dealing damage, ended up making our indirect damage a little bit more valuable, and triggering our Boba Fett immediately. Punishing one ended up being, about a 4 power unit, which is very similar to Dornian gunship, but then you get to targetable, deal the 1 damage when you play and when you attack, which is always better than indirect damage, assuming your opponent has units on the board. And then, like I said, top of the summit was incredible. There are so many games here where it felt like, oh my gosh, what do we do? Top of the summit. That's what we do, because it's just good. It's just so good with Boba Fett's ability. Definitely give this a shot. The new additions are amazing. Thanks so much, everyone, and I'll see you off the next one.